So I have used this method to get a job many times before. Many times. I've used this method to get a job with an ankle monitor on while living at a work release facility, which does make it a little bit harder to get a job. So what you got to do is go on your phone or online and look up businesses near me. Once you look up businesses near me, that'll, if you scroll down a little bit, it should give you the map that shows you a bunch of businesses with option A, B, C, and so forth. So zoom in on that map until you're closer to your precise location. Once you see where you are, now if you live out in the middle of nowhere, this method might not be as effective for you. I'm sure it won't be as effective for you, but it might still work. But hopefully you don't live out in the middle of nowhere. So zoom in to close to where you are, and you will be able to see every business pretty much that is close to you. So once you know all the businesses that are close to you, get a good old pad or pen and paper, right? And you're gonna have to make yourself a list. What you're gonna want to do is draw you up some lines, and you're gonna want to put name for the name of the business. See that there? You're gonna put name. You're gonna put number, because that's gonna be the business phone number. Then you're gonna want to put app. And that's enough for now. I mean, if you want, you can put more information. You can put, like, in the last row, if you called them or not, or if they called you back and stuff like that. But anyways, so what you're going to do is first write down the name. So say, you're going to write down, I recommend writing down any business. If you need a job and you need it quick, writing down any business that has any potential at all for you. So whether that be a gas station, working as the attendant, the clerk, working at a Subway, working at maybe like a place where it's physical labor, like some kind of, I don't know, construction site or something like that, or a McDonald's, or it doesn't matter, Walmart, Office Depot, Denny's, a waitress, whatever you're looking for. Even if it's like a nursing home or something like that, golf course, anything that has potential. Now, if you do have experience in certain things, that will help you. But really what's more important at this time is if it's close to you. The closer to you, the better. Because, I mean, honestly, if you could ride a bike there, that would save you a lot of money. If you can't, and you have to have a vehicle, then you have to pay for gas, you have to pay for car insurance, so on. Anyways, so say you write down Subway. Then you want to put the phone number. Okay, say it's whatever the phone number is. I'm just going to put some numbers there. Okay, and then you want to go through and write every single one of these. You know, you don't have to write 350 different businesses that are within 20 miles of your location, but all the businesses starting with what's closest to you. Look at that map, zoom in real close, and start walking it down the roads away from where you live and away from where you're staying. And you'll be able to find lots of locations. Say you got Subway, Home Depot, you got Sonny's Barbecue, and a car wash place, right? Then say you also got a dental assistant place where you're thinking, you know, maybe you could answer the phones or something, and you have a construction company right down the road. Okay, so say you got all those options. Write down each phone number, like I put, you know, a fake little 4 numbers right there for the first one. Write each phone number next to each one of the potentials, and then start, okay? Now, if you need a job ASAP, and you don't care what the job is, you have to start working, like, within a week, you know what I'm saying? Start calling these places. See if there's an app that you can fill out online. If there is, fill out the app online, but then call the location closest to you. So if it's like a franchise place, you're going to need to do some kind, you're going to have to get either the specific location, phone number, or whatever, you know what I mean? Make sure you're talking to the actual establishment where you're trying to work, the brick and mortar place that you physically want, not somebody in a different location. So once you've done that, go ahead, fill out a flood of apps. If you got 20 different places, fill out the 20 different apps. Okay, if 10 of those places don't have apps, then go into that place in person. And if you need a job ASAP, like anywhere, then this is what you tell them. Tell them that you live very close by, and that you are ready to work, and that you are willing to work anytime, any day, 7 days a week, 24/7. If they want you to work overtime, you're willing to do it. and tell them if they really wanted to, you could start working now. Like, you live so close here, you could be working right now at this moment. Be very polite, very respectful, put on your A game, you know what I'm saying, and do what you got to do. Exchange phone numbers, leave your phone number with them, do what you got to do. And even if that doesn't work the first time, it's very good to do that, because say 3-4 days goes by and you still haven't gotten a job. Well, you could stop by that same location. Say it's a Subway, right? You could stop by that same location and tell the people, if the manager is there, you can say, hey, how you doing today? Yeah, I was just saying, you know, I mean, I'm still looking for a job. I hope everything's good with y'all. I figured I would stop by and say hello while I was here. You know, I could be working right now if you needed me to. That's the key, if you tell them that. But if you tell them, you talk to a lot of places and you're very respectful, and you tell them that you can work 7 days a week, 24/7, it doesn't matter what time of day, and you're willing to work as many hours or as little hours as they will throw at you, but preferably as many, you will get some hits. You'll get some bites, and you'll be working before you know it. Now, there are different approaches and different ways to do this, different levels to it, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you're like me, and you're trying to make as much money as you can, as quickly as you can, you have to take a couple of different things into consideration. You have to think, firstly, are you going to be able to really get one job? This is where you have to look at yourself and do some real looking in the mirror and say, you know, what kind of skills and talents am I bringing to the table? What kind of experience do I really have in the job marketplace? Because if you have the expectation of getting a job where you're going to work 40 hours a week, have benefits, have, you know, insurance and paid vacation or whatever, and be able to make $25 an hour or something like that and pay your bills off with just the one job, well, you're going to have to be realistic with yourself. Is that it's something that you have the experience to be able to attain, or is that something that you're really just, you know what I mean, shooting smoke because you don't want to waste your time? You don't. Now, if you're in that situation, which most people are, the majority of people don't have the experience or the trade skills to go out there and make that kind of money off rip from one job, or be able to get one job that's going to give you, you know, 60 hours a week, 65 hours a week, and pay you the overtime, the time and a half for those 25 hours, right? Or whatever. But so what you do in that situation, this is what I recommend. When you're looking for a job, you have to keep something very important in mind, and you have to be very specific about it. It's not that confusing. It might sound that way at first. When you go to get these jobs, now you're gonna have to work 2 jobs is what this boils down to. But the way you have to do it when you're looking for these jobs, if you want 2 jobs, which is what I recommend, really, unless you have some kind of obligation that is keeping you from working all the time, which a huge percentage of people could work all the time. They could, you know what I mean? They have no real obligation stopping them from working. If you're in that position, what I would do is I would work 2 jobs. I would work as much as I could. I'd try and work between 60 and 70 hours a week so that I could cut my expenses and live within my means. But that way I could produce as much extra money as I could per month, where you have all the bills paid and you have excess money at the end that you can put into your investment, whatever that investment may be. I talked about it in past videos. We'll talk about it again. But you do that, and that's how you dig yourself out from the mud. That's how you get from the mud to the top. You know what I'm saying? Here I am myself, living proof. I'm not going to get off topic too quick, but living proof. I've only been free like 8 years from chain gang, where I did 6 years. In the last 8 years, I got 3 kids. I'm about to pay off my house in the next couple of months. My net value is encroaching $1 million real quick. By the end of this year, it would be lovely if I could see that. Maybe even see above that, you know what I'm saying? And I hope y'all get the blessings too. So listen to my advice. I use this just when I was at the work release center from this last bid where I did these 6 years. The last 6 months, I used this method to get 2 jobs while I was at the work release center to save up $5,000 before I went home. Anyways, so what you got to do is work the 2 jobs, and you have to, so when you're going to get these jobs and you're talking to the managers or you're talking to the shift supervisors for your interview or whatever, this is what you tell them. Now, this is what you got to decide for yourself first too. You have to split it up into 2 sections, right? Do you want to split it up into certain days that you can work one job and certain days you can work another, where you can work anytime all day? Or you do want to split it up into certain times that you can work one job and certain times that you can work another. Let me give you examples to make that not so confusing. So You could go out and look for a job that you know you're trying to work 40 hours Monday through Friday, 40 hours plus a week, hopefully, you know what I mean? Say you're trying to work like a shift supervisor for a Home Depot or something, or a Taco Bell, or who knows what, right? But you're trying to work that job. Or even if you're just trying to be a line person or a cash register at a retail place like a Walmart, right? Say you're trying to, that's going to be your main job where you're making your main money from. Odds are that job, when you go to get hired and you fill out these applications, you talk to these managers, you tell them that you can work Monday through Friday, anytime, any hours. Monday through Friday, anytime, any hours. And the reason you do that very specifically is because you tell them that you have plans, or that you already have, if you've acquired it, of having another job for Saturday and Sunday. So that way, no matter what the job works you, it don't matter if your shift is from 6 to 10 or from 9 to 5 or 8 to 10 or whatever or 8 to 6, whatever it is, it won't matter. It won't overlap with your other job. Or you could do it with hours. And what I mean by that is, say you work at a bar and grill and they want, say you're a cook there. I've been in this exact position, and they want you to work to close, right? And you've got to get there at, say, 3 o'clock. So you work from 3 to 11 or whatever, plus, a little bit after that every night. Okay. Well, you can tell them, okay, I'll work from any time from 3 after, 7 days a week. 365 days a year. Well, no, give me Christmas. You know what I mean? But if you pay me enough, I'm willing to work. Let's work. Make that money. You can tell them. And that way, if you do it like that, they'll know that they can rely upon you, and always be reliable. If they call you in, be there. You know what I'm saying? Always be the best employee. Always be the best employee. Very prompt, on time, polite. Do it. Don't get too personal. Don't try to get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. Do your job. Do good. So when you do it like that, they'll know they can rely on you from that time frame, 3 to whatever, 7 days a week, always, 30 days out of the month. That gives you where you can go get another job at a breakfast and lunch place, Breakfast Club or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And you can get there at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning and work until 2. Because then that gives you time to get off work, go home, change, go to your second job, make that money. If you do it like that, you split it up one of those two ways. Either I can work job A X days out of the week and job B X days out of the week, or I can work job A X hours out of the day and job B X hours out of the day. You split it up like that, you should be able to lock in 2 jobs. And then when you're not working, you got days off, or you come home and you got 6 hours, 5 hours before you go to bed because you only work one job today. Don't just sit around and do nothing. Take that money, that extra money you're making, and put it into something to help you make more money. I recommend eBay. I'm going to talk about hustling with eBay more on this channel in the future. But right now, and I mean, that's how I'm making my money. That's how I'm making my millions. Not yet, but I'm at it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's not the only way, of course. I have other plans. I myself personally plan on directing movies. I got card games I want to do, video games I want to do. I've already written multiple books. I got things in the works. But, so you want to get a job, that's how you do it. You want to take that job to the next level so you can really make some money. Even if you're just working a minimum wage job, put in the time, put in the hours, cut your expenses, live within your means, make that money. Work 2 jobs and have it set up where you're working 7 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, and 5 of those days you're working 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? You're working doubles. And a lot of jobs, if you do it right, especially bottom end jobs, you would call them, whatever, fast food and stuff like that, a lot of those will have certain benefits you might not think of. Like if you're working at that mom and pop restaurant, Breakfast Club, well, there's a good chance they're probably going to let you take home a meal, and maybe even like there might be other benefits, like say they cook X amount of bacon or something, right? You know what I mean? And they have leftovers of this stuff that's going bad, or like they ordered too many bagels that no one's been ordering this month or whatever, you know what I mean? Depending where you're working, a lot of places will give you benefits like that. Like I've worked multiple different Subways. Some of those Subways more strict than others. I worked at a Subway where you got a free sub for your shift. And if there were old cookies, you could take them home. If there was old bread, you could take it home. Old meatballs, you know what I mean, that you had to exchange for new ones, you could take the old ones and put them in a little thing and take them home. They were extra cool. I've been at ones where the only thing they gave you was 50% off up to a foot-long sub. That was your employee discount. That was it. You know what I'm saying? That was it. But even those people would have some benefits beyond that, where the owners would be in, and they'd be like, all right, we got to swap out all these cookies. Do you want these cookies? You can have them. You know what I mean? But I worked at multiple Subways. I've worked at 3 or 4 Subways. So they all had different owners, different policies. But the bar and grill I was talking about, I mentioned earlier that I was working at, that bar and grill, he would let us eat, because when I first started there, he'd let every employee, the owner, would let every employee take home one large meal, or eat one large meal while you're on your shift per shift. If you were working a double, he would probably let you take home 2. I'm sure he would. I ended up being his main cook, so he would let me have double. Basically, I could either bring home 2 meals, or I could eat a meal while I was there and whatever else I wanted while I was there, and then bring home a meal still at the end of the day. That was cool. But that is a benefit where if you're trying to live within your means and cut your expenses, think about it. If you're bringing home food and you're eating it, then you're not spending money on food. When I was 16, 15 years old and turning 16, like that time frame of my age, I was working at a Pizza Hut, and I ended up becoming one of the main 2 cooks at that Pizza Hut. But the rules at that Pizza Hut was he would let you bring home, he would let you bring home 1 large pizza, or he'd let you bring home 2 2-liters, or he'd let you bring home a 2-liter and a side, or he'd let you bring home 2 sides, or if you worked a double, he'd double it. So that was cool. That was awesome. That was a long time ago. But those were some major benefits. If you came over to my house at that point in time, I'd have 4 or 5 2-liters of different drinks, you know what I'm saying, name brand drinks, and I'd have 2 or 3 pizzas in there, and I'd have chicken wings and everything else, you know what I mean? And although might not be exactly what you want to eat, if you're trying to make it somewhere, you got to make that sacrifice now. You know what I mean? You got to eat that slice of pizza instead of ordering sushi. Even though sushi sounds way better, you got to eat that pizza because you got to save that $5 or whatever it is. So I hope this helped you out. If this video if you enjoyed this video, or if it helps you any type of way, if this is a new channel, if you would like and subscribe, maybe ding the bell, maybe leave a positive comment, I would be very much appreciated. All the support that I've been getting and the love y'all been showing me so far, God bless y'all. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated. I wish you nothing but the absolute best out there in the streets. God bless. Until next time, peace.